To create a call queue advanced, select the company in the top right hand corner that you'd like to create it against and click Explore. Click on the Groups tab and then Add Group. Select Company and then the company that you'd like to create this against. Click Next. Click Call Queue and then select Advanced. Enter the name of the call queue you're going to create. You can include a description also. Give it a number, and if you'd like calls to be recorded, please select the time period you'd like them to be recorded for on the drop-down menu. Call size is the number of calls you want to queue, 5 being the default, but you can order blocks of 5 up to the maximum of 50. Next is your ring pattern, priority or skill rating. Select the one you wish to use. You can then select the users you'd like to be a member of the call queue by clicking the user icons. Then click Next. For priority ringing, you can just drag and drop the users into the ideal order you'd like them to be ranked, then click Next. For skill rating, you drag and drop the user against the star rating you'd like them to be associated to, and the system will call the highest rated user first. Ringing agents is the number of agents you want the system to ring at any one time. If you'd like it to be simultaneous, select the same number of users that you have in your queue, or just select the required number. Agent timeout is the seconds you want it to ring per agent, before passing on to the next. Again, you can use the slider or simply type in the number here. Available presence is to ensure that the agent is available before presenting the call to them. Toggle on if you'd like to enable this. Wrap-up timer is the period of time before another call is presented to the agent. This is designed to allow the user to finish up their notes before accepting another call. Again, you can use the slider or enter the digits here. If you leave it at 0, it will disable the function. Missed call log is the number of calls presented to an available agent that they do not answer before hanging up. Again, you can use the slider or enter in the value. If you leave this at 0, it will disable the function. The help number is a function for the agent to be able to connect to Supervisor if they require assistance. You can free type a number here, or you can use the drop-down box to select an internal number. This simply puts the caller on hold whilst they speak to the Supervisor. Use longest wait means that the call will be presented to the agent who has been idle for the longest. Exclude mobile means that the system does not ring mobile users. You can toggle these both on and off depending on your preference. In queue settings, the first option you have is showing contacts. This will make it part of the contact directory if selected. Max calls in queue is the number of calls you're allowed to queue. We set the limit on the previous screen. Now this is the actual length of the queue. Use the slider or the box to select. Max wait time is the maximum time you want the caller to wait before presenting further calls to an overflow destination. It's currently defaulted to 1 minute, and you can have a maximum of up to 4 hours. So select your limit using this box or the slider. If you exceed this limit, any new calls will be presented to the queue for scenario, which could either return the busy tone by clicking this toggle, or forward to an alternative destination by typing in the external number or clicking an internal number from the drop-down box. Max agent attempts is the number of attempts you want the system to present to an available agent before going to the no agents available destination. Each attempt doesn't need to be the same user, and this can be multiple users. Again, use the slider or the box to enter in your number. If you leave it at 0, it will be disabled. No agents available is where you'd like the call to go if no one is available to take this call. Essentially, this is when no one is logged in or if the maximum agent attempts is exceeded. You'll need to enter in a number into this field or use the drop-down to select an internal user. Forward call after X amount of minutes is when the system will pick the caller out of the queue when the threshold is reached and forward to the destination below. Use the slider box or enter in your limit. If you leave at 0, this feature will be disabled. Then click Next. Message settings is where we customize the audio and caller experience when they dial into the queue. So placed in queue is the message they first hear when they hit the queue. Click the drop-down box and select your audio file. Progress message is the message that is repeated whilst waiting. Select the amount of time you'd like between each message. Queuing message is the message or music that the caller hears whilst waiting for their call to be answered. Next is play ring calling agent. This is where you want the caller to hear ringing once it's being presented to an available agent. Click the toggle to enable. If not selected, the caller will hear the music right up until the agent answers. Play queue position is where we announce the position where the caller is within the queue, and estimated time is letting the caller know the estimated time that their call will be answered by. Again, you can toggle these on and off dependent on your preference. If you toggle on, you can alternate between position, estimated time, and progress message. Wallboard settings are to be used if you have a wallboard. We have two different timestamp periods. The statistics period is the time you want to report on, and then we have the 24-hour fixed statistics as well, which are by default reset at 12 o'clock every night, but that you can select to customize this to your preferred time. The final section is callback settings. So this is the auto callback, which is disabled by default. If you'd like to activate this, simply enter in the amount of seconds to your callback requeue. So how long you want the system to call the customer back before requeuing the call. Callback attempts is how many times you'd like to call back the original caller before stopping. And then callback message is what you'd like the agent to hear when the callback is in progress. This is easily customizable so that the caller knows the type of inquiry to expect. And again, the audio file will be available on your drop-down menu. Clicking Next takes you to the Supervisor license section. Here you can activate supervisors for the call queue. Simply select the user icons. This gives them supervisor access from their softphone. Finally, we have time scheduling. We have two types, date and weekly. The weekly schedule is our working week, so we select the days we want it to be active on and the start and end time. We then have three action types, open, closed and forward. Open means that we are open during the hours selected, so the call will go to the no agents available overflow outside of these hours. You can also have a pre-connection greeting, which you can choose from the drop-down list. Next up is closed, which is when we're saying we're closed during these hours and please play the audio prompt chosen below, so it does not forward the call or ask for a message. Lastly is forward. This is when we're going to forward to a completely different destination during the hours selected. You can free type in an external number or use the drop-down box to select an internal number. You can also choose a pre-connection greeting for the caller as the call is being connected. The other time schedule we have is by date, used for holiday periods. So select the date and time you'd like it to start and finish, and then you have the three same action types available. Open, closed and forward. Once you're happy with your time schedules, simply click Save.